You heard it, baby. I'm back. Paul Esden Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. And welcome wherever you're watching here late on a Saturday evening, August 6th. It's about to be the 7th, and baby, I just got to tell you, it is phenomenal to be back. We are streaming live simultaneously on the Heavy on Jets Facebook page, my YouTube channel, youtube.com/BoyGreen25, and of course, on my Twitter account, @BoyGreen25. Again, I am the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. We got a lot to get to, and again, guys, that little Cam Newton shout out at the beginning. I'm back. I've been gone for 2 weeks, so it's awesome to be live here doing video content again. Apparently, Mississippi did not provide the Wi-Fi you're looking for to do live video streaming. So I am happy to be back, baby, and I couldn't wait any longer. I just got back a couple of hours ago, but boy, there is news to discuss. There is news to talk about, and sure as hell, we're going to do it right here on the show, no matter where you're watching. Facebook, YouTube, the Twitterverse. Make sure you show your support, like and follow the Heavy on Jets Facebook page. We got great articles, and we're going to sneak peek one for you that's not even out on the Facebook page yet that we wrote, and we have this video to go along with it. So make sure you like and follow the page. YouTube, come on, baby. Like the video. Hit subscribe down below for all the juicy deets, because we're going to go live. And by the way, a shout out. We're going to have a very special guest, a new member of the New York Jets beat will be joining me tomorrow on the YouTube channel, recapping the green and white scrimmage from tonight, talking about some Dwayne Brown rumors, which of course will be the theme of tonight's video, and so much more. So again, that video coming out tomorrow. We're going to be recording that tomorrow and putting that baby out immediately, and catching up on training camp, of course, as well. And like I said, on Twitter. Feel free to get involved on this show. This is an interactive program. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, you name it, you got it. Feel free to get all your comments in, and we'll bring them up sporadically here on the program. But let's get to it. You heard the video there. Robert Saleh, Dwayne Brown. There is mutual interest between the two in making it happen. And let's first give a tip of the cap to Rich Cimini of ESPN, who broke the news earlier today that the New York Jets would be hosting veteran offensive tackle Dwayne Brown on a visit. And as part of that visit, Dwayne Brown would be watching the Jets green and white scrimmage, which is their annual scrimmage against themselves before we start turning the page to preseason games. Remember, next week, preseason game numero uno, we got the Eagles, and we have the Atlanta Falcons after that. Well, Monday Night Football action, preseason, hell yeah. And then, of course, you wrap up against the Giants. So they have all this stuff coming up on the horizon, but tonight was the annual scrimmage. By the way, Dwayne Brown was there tonight on the sideline. He was hanging out with Rex Hogan, the assistant GM for the Jets, general manager Joe Douglas, Robert Saleh, several, and we'll get to all of those guys here that were kind of getting involved in the pitch for one Dwayne Brown. But first, let's get to this, and that is Robert Saleh, who spoke after the green and white scrimmage today. And of course, he was asked about Dwayne Brown. We're going to be playing a couple of those clips today. I clipped them out, and I do that for all the New York Jets press conferences. So make sure you guys get involved on the Twitter sphere so you guys can catch all of this stuff that I tweet out. But we're going to play several clips for you from Robert Saleh. But first, let's get to his initial comments being asked about Dwayne Brown and breaking his silence, quite frankly, on this Dwayne Brown investigation that they seem to be doing here. Let's get the first clip. This is Robert Saleh. Let's roll the footage.
Dwayne Brown, he's kind of hard to miss out there. What was the thought on bringing him in for a look?
You know, anytime you have a chance to add a Pro Bowler like him and add to the depth of this of our roster, we'll look at, or we're always going to search. We're going to search far and wide, and he was. There's interest on both sides, obviously, and Joe's been working on that one for a little bit, but we'll see where everyone's at with regards to that conversation, and we'll have more conversations. But the rest of everything else with regards to that would be more for Joe.
And wow, let's start right there, quite frankly. A couple of juicy nuggets there. First off, Robert Saleh saying there's mutual interest between both the New York Jets and Dwayne Brown. Dwayne Brown, by the way, for those who don't know, we'll get into this later because I apparently had a bit of a hot take on Dwayne Brown and my Jet stuff. We'll get to that later because, again, I've been gone the last couple of weeks in Mississippi. But first off, mutual interest between the New York Jets and Dwayne Brown. That's phenomenal, and that's juicy. Number two, general manager Joe Douglas has, quote unquote, been working on this for a little bit. So, sometimes we hear about the stuff late, right? Like, oh, they're having a visit now. Well, apparently the two sides have been conversing over the last little bit. So interesting little nugget there from head coach Robert Saleh on the Dwayne Brown interest. And again, you can never have enough good offensive linemen. I thought another fascinating nugget that I do want to play that full clip here as well from Robert Saleh is this. A lot of people were kind of getting involved on the recruiting of Dwayne Brown. And like I said, we'll get into that in a minute. But one of the most interesting nuggets was the connections that we're talking about here, including Robert Saleh and Dwayne Brown from the Houston Texans days. Let's get right into that. We're going to play that clip for you. I thought it was, again, a fascinating nugget from head coach Robert Saleh, having a very unique connection to Dwayne Brown that spans almost 20 years ago. Let's play that clip. Roll the footage.
Yeah, you can never have enough good O-linemen. You just can't, especially with the type of offense that we play and all that. But like I said, anytime you have a chance to add a quality player at any position, you're going to listen, you're going to look, and you're going to try to see how it fits.
You were keeping an eye on him. It looked like, I think you were over there at one point. Rex, Joe, Woody was over there. George. I mean, is there anything else you can do to convince him to come here?
No, it's, you know what, he's such an established man. There's history, obviously. I was there as a little QC in Houston when we drafted him, and so I have a history with Dwayne. He's a phenomenal man, and I was about to say young man, but. He's a phenomenal man, but he is a massive human being. You guys saw him, but no, it's nothing more than just paying respect to a man who's done unbelievable things in this league.
And by the way, for those who are curious on the Robert Saleh path, a lot of you may not be aware of this. Let me take you down old history lane here. Robert Saleh got his first NFL gig with the Houston Texans. He started off as an intern, probably grabbing coffee and laundry and all that fun jazz. And eventually, after one season as an intern, he became a defensive quality control assistant. You heard him use the term QC. That's a quality control coach. And he was there with the Texans for 3 years. And during that time, the Houston Texans, I believe that was Saleh's final year with the Texans before he moved on to greener pastures. The Houston Texans drafted one Dwayne Brown all the way back in 2008. This guy's been doing it for a while. And he was there with Dwayne Brown and knew him both on the field, obviously, always on the field successes. Again, we'll get to that here on the show, but also off the field, calling him a phenomenal man. So few people may know that direct correlation, of course, is Robert Saleh back in the Houston Texans days. Again, that's where he started his career before he was traded to the Seattle Seahawks. Now, one other bit I definitely want to get into for those who may have missed it, which I find fascinating here. We're going to throw this up on the big screen. Apparently, there was some recruiting happening during the green and white scrimmage. Okay, Dwayne Brown's there. He's doing his free agent visit. He's getting all the, red carpet, ownership. Woody Johnson was talking to Dwayne Brown. He had Joe Douglas, Rex Hogan saying, hey, man, it'd be great. You should come on down. Well, guess what? Some of the players get involved on the recruiting, and I just have to simply say, you love to see it. Let's throw this one up on the big board first. Let's give a shout out to Waz, who says, meanwhile, DJ Reed Jr., who, by the way, did not play tonight in the green and white scrimmage, he's dealing with a hamstring injury. Robert Saleh called it, quote unquote, precautionary, but this is the second time DJ Reed has sat out with hamstring issues. So keep an eye out on that. But more so the story is DJ Reed, since he wasn't playing tonight, he was chatting it up with Dwayne Brown. Remember, they are former Seattle Seahawks teammates. They spent 2 years together, 2020 and 2021, but he wasn't the only Jets player getting in on the recruiting action. Let's scroll down here to Conor Hughes of SNY now. Congratulations to Conor on the new gig. We'll have him here on the show shortly. He said George Fant, another former Seattle Seahawk, was also talking to Dwayne Brown and getting some of that recruiting in. By the way, Dwayne Brown and George Fant spent 4 years together from 2016 through 2019 with, of course, the Seattle Seahawks, rather, as teammates together. So history lessons all across the board here from that perspective as well. So a lot happening there in Jets land on all of this. And I have to say this, because I told you guys I was traveling. I brought that up a little bit earlier on the show, and it's all going to come full circle here. So I'm moving on planes and all this other jazz, right? So I'm in Mississippi, and I got to get to Mississippi to New York. So first, because again, of course, you guys need all these details. I was in Mississippi at like 7 this morning, right? And by the way, it's 1 hour time difference. So we had to go from Mississippi to Atlanta. When I jumped on my plane from Mississippi to Atlanta, as far as I knew, there was no Dwayne Brown news to report. And then when I landed in Atlanta, I turn off the old airplane mode on the phone and take a gander down at the phone. And I'm like, Dwayne Brown is visiting the Jets. Here was my take. Let's throw one more up on the big board here. Let me see. Let me grab that tweet from earlier, and apparently sent some people into a bit of a craze. So you know what? I of course have to address the controversy. So let me throw that clip on here. From earlier today again. Remember, guys, I am traveling from Mississippi to Atlanta, and I hear the news. Here's my tweet. I just got off the plane to hear the Jets are hosting offensive tackle Dwayne Brown. He is an elite offensive lineman that would plug the last remaining major hole on the roster. In the wise words of head coach Robert Saleh, let's bleep and go. And, you know, I got a lot of feedback. Apparently, this had 17,000 views on Twitter, the little Robert Saleh let's flip and go video. And I had a lot of people saying elite. Let's go through some of the comments here. We'll go through them together. Anthony, jet life and a wife. This would be unbelievable. Hope this happens today. Jets announce it. No, that's not what I want. Didn't know you on a plane. Now, here it is. So let's go to my boy, sports_fiend. Not sure he would be elite at this stage in his career. Okay, there's one person who said that. Brother, much respect, but he's not elite. Mike Ramirez. He is a solid player, but not elite. They're from Jet Fanatic. Brooklyn, JFK, a bunch of numbers. Not elite anymore. Let's see. Anyone else? AB Sports Cards. He's good, but definitely not elite. I think we need to look up the definition of elite. Dan, elite, question mark. And blah, blah, blah. He was elite 3 years ago. Okay. So a lot of people called me out. And they said, Boy Green, do your homework, pal. He's not elite. Well, after reviewing the facts, I wanted to come on the show and apologize from the bottom of my heart to absolutely no one, because I'm not wrong. Our boy here, Dwayne Brown, is absolutely elite. So I'm apologizing to no one for that video earlier, and I'm going to double down right now on this program. I'm going to double down right now on this gosh darn show that those people can wrap it up and shove it up their keisters, because Dwayne Brown is the real deal. And I'm going to say easily, you want to know why? Let's drop a little nuggets here on old Dwayne Brown, okay? He is a 3-time All-Pro. He is a 5-time Pro Bowler. And a lot of people pointed at his age, okay? He is 36 years old, but he turns 37 at the end of the month, okay? And a lot of people said, he's old. Oh, okay, he's old. Okay, all those All-Pros were a couple years ago. Blah, 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 blah. By the way, Dwayne Brown's coming off a Pro Bowl season, so how about put that in your pipe and smoke it, okay? But I also want to bring up something else. Because, because I'm going to double up on my take that he is elite. Because, again, people pointed out the age. They said not at this stage of his career. Oh, okay. Let's bring up some fun facts, huh? Let's bring up some stats. Let's bring up some logistics, if we can, before we jump into all the comments and catch up with you guys. Because I wanted to make sure that I got to this. So I'm going to pull up, this is Dwayne Brown, an old PFF, okay? This way back in 2009. All right, this is quite some time ago, but you'll understand where we're going. This is his second year in the league. Look at that run blocking grade. Elite. Yes, I like that. So we're in 2009. Elite, like that. But okay, pass blocking, something to be desired. Overall was fine. But let's keep going. Let's keep going to more present times. Let's go 2010. Wow, run blocking. Elite. Ooh, that overall is jumping up. Pass blocking looked pretty good. Okay, that's a decade ago, Paul. Let's keep catching up here. Oh, wow. Pass blocking, 83.5. Elite. Overall, ooh, 81. Elite. Ooh, run blocking, 75. Wow, all these seem to be going up pretty high. Let's keep going here. Ooh, look at this 2012 season. 88 overall. Elite. 81 overall. Elite. 88 run block. Oh, guess what? Elite. Let's go 2013. Wow, look at that 84, 85 in the overall pass blocking grades. Wow, this seems to be getting better, but let's keep going more current, Paul. 84, elite on the pass blocking grade. How about 2015? Ooh, 83 overall, elite. Wow, is anyone sensing a theme here? Let's go 2016. Overall, 86, elite. Pass blocking, 81, elite. Run blocking, 80.9, elite. Wow, we're getting a lot closer to that age now. Okay, 2017, a terrible season from a run blocking perspective. That pass blocking is still great, and overall not too shabby. But let's get more current, Paul. Let's get more current. Pass blocking, elite again. Overall, elite. Again, run blocking, solid. Let's go 2019. Okay, again, pass blocking, solid. Overall, solid. Run blocking, there was some mad there in 2019. But let's go over the last 2 years. 2020, elite across the goddamn board. 87.3 overall. That's freaking elite, people. That's elite. That is elite numbers. Okay, I'm not even a PFF guy, and look at that. That's gosh darn elite. And let's look at last season, Captain Pro Bowl. There you go. The one number I don't like. Okay, let's look at sacks allowed 8. That's gross. But guys, I'm going to stand, and 2022 obviously hasn't happened yet, but people, I'm going to circle back here and simply say this. This man is a incredibly proven and productive offensive tackle. He is clearly the best offensive tackle on the market right now. Now, of course, he exclusively plays left tackle. For those of you who don't know that at home, he has played more snaps as a jumbo tight end, quite frankly, than he's played as a right tackle in the NFL. So this guy's been doing it for 14 years. He's a left tackle, but I don't care because you know what? If you're going to bring a guy in, I'd much rather bring a better player than Riley Reif, who has the versatility of left and right and just got paid by the Chicago Bears, but he's nowhere near as good. He hadn't ever had one Pro Bowl, let alone 5. He didn't have one All-Pro, let alone 3. So Dwayne Brown is among the best offensive tackles in football. And again, while the overall PFF numbers have been elite, there have been spots where he hasn't been. But the reason why he's still available right now is a couple of good things. First off, there was the weird legal issue. For those who missed it, of course, he went through essentially, and this is allegedly, of course, is that Dwayne Brown went through an airport and basically had a concealed gun. It's similar to the Quinnen Williams issues he had a couple years ago, and basically his agent kind of coughed it all up to a dumb mistake by Dwayne Brown. But put that legal thing aside here, and Dwayne Brown just delivers. I'm sure he's been looking for the right situation at his age. Again, 36, will turn 37 ahead of the 2022 season, but this is a guy that can get it done. This would be an absolute home run addition for the New York Jets. Morgan Moses is a guy who had 96 consecutive starts at tackle when he was released into the pool. Dwayne Brown has played and started in 203 games. This guy has seen it all. His body has seen stories. He could tell stories. That's how good this guy is. This guy is absolutely elite. I don't give a flying hoot what anyone says. The analytics back it up. His accolades back it up. And the talent freaking backs it up. So I just have to say all of that to collectively say that Dwayne Brown would be an absolute stud for the New York Jets, and I hope that it happens. Now, of course, let's get to the green and white, and of course, all your questions that are pouring in. No matter where you're watching, everybody, show your support. Again, if you're watching right now on the Heavy on Jets Facebook page, open up a tab, go to youtube.com/boygreen25, like the video, hit subscribe so you never miss these videos again, because not all of them are live on the Heavy on Jets Facebook page. So if you never want to miss any of these crazy videos and engagements and live streams, we have a fun season coming up. We got a lot of cool guests and all kinds of things joining us. So make sure you like the video. Okay. That's for free. And hit subscribe. That's for free. And if you want to get into the monetary game, you can do it on YouTube right now. Super chat, throw a little coin into my tin cup so I can put bacon on the table for my family. So feel free to do that if you'd like to super chat and get involved here on the show or become a member of the YouTube channel, the Boy Green Super Fan Club. With all that being said, let's get to the green and white scrimmage from tonight and all your comments pouring in. First off, a bit of injury news. It was inevitably going to happen. Credit to Robert Saleh and the staff for reconfiguring practice and trying to prevent as many injuries as possible. And they've done a remarkable job in that category. But inevitably, as my old radio partner used to say, football is a game that eats its young. It is a violent sport, and people are inevitably going to get injured no matter what you do. And the first victim for the Jets this offseason, Conor Mcdermott, backup offensive tackle guy. Candidly, I don't think it's very good. But nonetheless, he's the guy. If Mekhi Becton George Fant gets hurt, that's who they're going to lean on, which makes this Dwayne Brown thing a little more important. He went down in a crumpled heap. He was clutching his leg. From both reporters like Connor Hughes and Dennis Wazak and all these other guys that were watching and fans. It looked very serious for Conor Mcdermott. After the scrimmage, Robert Saleh spoke to the media, and he said that it was an ankle injury, and they'll know more tomorrow, which will be Sunday, depending on when you're listening to this, which is about to be Sunday in like 30 seconds because we're recording this so late and live streaming so late, but it'll be August 7th. We should get some sort of update from Robert Saleh. It did not look good. It looked severe. And hopefully he's okay personally for his own future. But from a Jets perspective, you need to make sure Dwayne Brown does not leave the gosh darn building, because you need to get that guy locked in. And this is no indictment on Mekhi Becton. This is no indictment on George Fant. It's simply, I'm a guy who hopes for the best and expects the worst. And what that means is simply this. I hope everyone stays healthy, and I hope for all that, but you have to prepare for the worst case scenario. You can't be, going in with Mekhi Becton, George Fant, your answers are Conor McDermott, Chuma Edoga on the bench. You just cannot do that. And I don't care if Mekhi Becton and George Fant play a full 17-game season. You need to be prepared just in case they're not. And Dwayne Brown would help you in that category. So TBD and Conor McDermott does not look good. I would venture to say, I don't want to jump the gun here. I have no inside sources on this. Boy, it does not look good. That's all I want to say. And we'll get official word from Robert Saleh tomorrow. All right, let's welcome everybody in here. We got Hawk in here. Hawk, what's poppin', baby? JETS, Jets on YouTube. My brother, how are we? M. Morris, we won the scrimmage. You're damn right we did. We're undefeated. Jason on the Heavy on Jets Facebook page. Go Jets. Jason, welcome to the show. Braden NZL. Sounds like it was good practice. Anyone know what the fireworks were like? I cannot comment. Unfortunately, I was not there. I got off a plane around 5:45, 6 o'clock, and then I headed from Syracuse to Oswego. So I missed it, but anyone feel free to share the fireworks action with Braden, and make sure you let us know. JETS really like Dwayne Brown coming to the squad. Not official yet. It was just a visit, but I imagine with the Conor McDermott injury and the fact that Salah admitted during the presser that this has been something that's been happening for a while here, I think, quite frankly, it's something that should happen, but it is not official. Not official yet from that perspective. Let's see. Back to Jason here. Need solid offensive line. Need to really run the ball. Be tough. I will say, from everything we gathered from the green and white scrimmage, offensive line, a great day at the office. They did a very good job of protecting Zach Wilson. The day started off better than it finished in terms of the offense, but the offensive line gave him time. You start carving them up, and quite frankly, that's the formula that should transition to the regular season. If this offensive line can protect, quite frankly, any quarterback should be able to pick apart a defense, but particularly Zach Wilson with the weapons that are available. This offensive line will be key. No question about it. Let's go to Hawk. They're about to pay Brown because they can't pay the light bill anymore. Well, the fact of the matter is they just need to find a way to get it done, quite frankly, under any circumstance. They just need to get it done for Dwayne Brown. And again, it may be expensive and probably will be. But you know what? This is a risk I'm willing to take. This is a premium resource I'm willing to invest in because it is the protection of your quarterback, Zach Wilson. Jacob Finnegan on YouTube. Brown will be a huge addition, literally and figuratively. Jacob, I agree. And great picture, by the way, with Michael Carter and Elijah Moore. Love that. Hennessy needs some new microphones too. Maybe they do. I love this microphone. This microphone's great. So, but yes, of course, any support you guys show for the channel helps me do all kinds of stuff. Got this cool gizmo gadget for the mic. We'll be doing other stuff with that this season. Got this mic, got the background, all this stuff. The more support, the better. So, Hennessy, appreciate you, pal. Let's keep going here. JETS, Jets. I have faith in JD to get him to sign for a steal. That shouldn't surprise anyone if Joe Douglas is able to do that. I think the money's going to be a little rich, but again, Joe Douglas has done magic before. So I'd be all for it. Let's go to our YouTube member, Kobe. We all do that. Crumple up the piece of paper. Kobe. Doesn't matter what team you support. Yo, what's happening, man? How was T-Conk tonight? Beautiful. That budding relationship between quarterback and tight end. Now, you would have thought in free agency that CJ Uzomah, who signed for a 3-year, $24 million deal, he signed first and he signed for more money. Yet, however, it looks like Tyler Conklin, the guy who's coming off the career year from the Minnesota Vikings and a guy who joined our channel. Make sure you check out that interview from earlier this offseason. We'll check back with him during the season. There's a little tease for the season. But T-Conk was looking good. He had a nice 10-yard touchdown reception, hit the seam a couple of times again, and Robert Saleh after the scrimmage. Again, you guys can see all the Robert Saleh clips. I put them out on my Twitter, @BoyGreen25. But I'll talk to you about this one. He said that Conk has been a quote-unquote pleasant surprise this camp, especially, again, because he was the lesser paid tight end and the second tight end they pivoted to after the wide receiver market got crazy. And Tyler Conklin's looking good, man. And the one point of emphasis from Salah on Conklin that stood out is his ability to separate on third downs and make plays and make things happen one-on-one. And that's something Tyler Conklin even said, a chip on his shoulder that he is really kind of carrying around, that he's like, hey, I'm about to prove how good I am as a receiver. So you know what? That's what happens, man. That's what happens. Let's see. Conklin was awesome. A couple of other people commenting in. Blitz BK. Conklin was awesome. Hennessy, Heisman, why didn't DJ Reed practice again? That was a hamstring issue. And again, this is a repeat hamstring issue throughout this offseason. Salah called it precautionary, so you could take the coach's word for it. But, oh boy. Some questions there, but hopefully it's just nothing. He called it precautionary, so we'll take the coach at his word with precautionary. But the second time, at least, that I've heard about a hamstring issue for DJ Reed. So hopefully he's good to go because I think he could be a player. Conklin, tight end 1. I like that, Hennessy. Could be. Uzama is definitely going to be that locker room guy, and I still think he's going to be able to produce on the field. He better for that contract, but Conklin may be tight end 1. Let's see. Oh, the Buffalo Jet fan, my boy. And by the way, speaking of being back, I'll be back with Buffalo doing our Boy Green Buffalo show on Monday. So make sure you guys check that out on the Buffalo Jet fan YouTube channel. It's been a few weeks since we've been able to get together, so I'm looking forward to that. So make sure you guys light up. Let's see. Blitz BK, Garrett Wilson almost caught a touchdown on Sauce today. I think that was a crazy one from Zach Wilson back of the end zone. Just got his second foot out, but he's cooking. He's cooking. That was another thing from Connor Hughes that said that Garrett Wilson is a guy that is going to keep getting better as training camp goes on. Again, because these wide receivers are thrown into the ocean trying to figure out the different wide receiver positions and everything that they're asked for in this Mike LaFleur offense. It's not easy being cheesy, but from that perspective, it's going to get a little bit tough. So again, Garrett Wilson's looking good though, which you gotta like. But it's kind of been a slow burn for Garrett. And Kobe, he said it, like the stream up, baby. Hit the thumbs up on YouTube, and like I said, even if you're watching on Facebook or Twitter, take a second to open another tab. You could show your support for the channel. We're really trying to blow up the YouTube. Hennessy, why Boy Green sound like a WWE wrestler? I've gotten that a lot. I am a wrestling fan by nature, so I do the Paul Heyman thing a lot, that I don't give predictions. I give spoiler alerts. So I am a big wrestling guy. So, my day job is a sports talk radio host, which, by the way, I'm back on air on Monday for all you radio listeners. So I'll be back. And by the way, I might as well announce it here. For those who are a fan of me on here on the YouTube show, I do sports talk radio in Syracuse, New York, Monday through Friday, 10 to 12. The info is in my Twitter bio. However, a Jets plug for each and every one of you. We talk Jets, Giants, Bills, Syracuse football, Syracuse basketball, a lot of stuff that maybe you guys aren't interested in. But the part you may want to be interested in is a good buddy of mine, Zach Rosenblatt, the new Jets beat reporter for The Athletic, will be joining me every Tuesday starting this Tuesday. I got to double check the time. It's 11:30. I remember. Zach Rosenblatt, Jets beat reporter from The Athletic, will join me on my radio show every Tuesday at 11:30. The interviews will be posted to social media after the fact, so you guys can always catch them there as well. And we'll be talking Jets every week from this upcoming Tuesday through the entire season. So I'm looking forward to working with Zach Rosenblatt on a more intimate level. And of course, he'll be making appearances on the video show as well. So Zach Rosenblatt, a fresh voice to the beat and someone I've really enjoyed. We'll be working together both on my radio show and on here. So random shout out there here on the show. Jay Spector, is Dwayne Brown a left tackle or right tackle? Can Mekhi move back to left tackle if Dwayne Brown signs? Dwayne Brown, by the way, is an exclusive left tackle. He's only played left tackle his entire career. And again, he's played 14 plus years in the league. So I doubt he moves. Maybe, but I don't think so. But that's okay because you have Dwayne like left tackle insurance, because I don't see him unseating George Fant before the season unless some sort of injury or contract thing comes up. And then on the other side, you have Max Mitchell, who I believe is exclusively a right tackle, according to Connor Rogers, based on his film study. So if you have both those guys locked in, then it's fine. It'd be in a perfect world, you have a guy that could cover both. And you could kind of work it. But remember last year, week 1, right? So the starting tackles, week 1 last year was Mekhi Becton at left and George Fant at right. Becton goes down, Fant flips to left tackle. Morgan Moses, a career right tackle, steps in, and that's how you do it. So if there were an injury to, let's say, right tackle would make it more interesting, I don't think Dwayne Brown flips to right because he's never done it. Maybe he does. Again, I think that's going to be a conversation for once he comes in. It's sort of similar to Laken Tomlinson is a great example. When he was signed, everyone assumed, including myself, that obviously he's jumping over to right guard because Elijah Vera Tucker's playing left guard. But ultimately, they forced the youngster to flip. So, you can never make assumptions on these sort of things. But to answer your question, Dwayne Brown is a left tackle exclusively. And I would imagine that if something happened where someone had to flip, I think it's the other, whoever survives. So if George Fant or Mekhi Becton, I imagine they could flip to the other side if you need be. For instance, again, if Becton goes down, George Fant could flip from left to right, and then you put Dwayne Brown in to put your best players on the field. But again, that will be a TBD. I don't want to lock that in stone. And Morris, can he play center? No, he cannot, but I appreciate that. Conor McGovern hopefully has that down. Let's see. Go back to Kobe, one of our YouTube members. Again, you can look for more information on my YouTube channel to become a member here on the show. If Wilson could get Conklin the ball, he'll be top 10 in the league. Watch it. Yeah, by the way, I was reading, I'm a fantasy football guy. Again, you guys will learn more about me beyond just the Jets, but I'm a big fantasy football guy. And every year, my team name is Jets inspired, obviously, as a resident diehard Jet fan and New York Jets team reporter for Heavy.com. And I was reading the fantasy magazine on the airplane today, and Tyler Conklin isn't even a top 30 tight end in this fantasy magazine. Uzama barely made it in like, I don't know, 27 or something. Boy, people are sleeping on Conklin, and whether it's Mike Kay, whether it's Ethan Greenberg, Eric Allen, all these guys that have joined our show, and Conklin himself for that matter, they keep saying, okay, keep sleeping on me, man. I think Conklin's a guy you should be investing some fantasy resources in. Now, I get why you may not want to, because, again, the Jets and tight ends have not been great, historically speaking, but from a note from me, I would draft Tyler Conklin, but that's just me. TJ Decker, hey, Paul. What's poppin', TJ? Welcome to the show. Okay, Hawk, he's the best backup we could hope for. He also has a lot of knowledge for young guys. 100%. That was actually, you guys may forget this, but what was that? Let me think of the year. It's got to be 2020. So the Jets they draft Mekhi Becton, and then they signed George Fant. And even after they added both of those guys, the Jets were doing their homework on veteran offensive tackle, an available guy, Jason Peters, after they added both of those guys. And the thought behind it, according to NFL insiders at the time, is that person could come in and compete, Jason Peters in this example, and he'd be a mentor for the guys in the room. So Dwayne Brown, the same sort of thing. And you heard Salah. We played the clip earlier, so you guys can rewind if you like to hear the beginning of the show. But Robert Saleh said that not only is Dwayne Brown a phenomenal player, obviously, look at the accolades. Again, 3-time All-Pro, 5-time Pro Bowler, 203 games, career, etc. But he is also a phenomenal man. So, again, he loves him off the field as well. So that could do it. Vinny and the Jets, were you at the scrimmage tonight, Boy Green? I was not. Too many travel plans with coming through on the plane, and then the fiance and the baby, of course. But I will be there week 1. Again, I will be with the Middle Initial podcast we'll be doing. And let me get out all the information for you guys. If you guys would like to join me, I will be there week 1. I'm going to be doing a little tailgate special with the Middle Initial podcast. I'll drop the link in the comments section, and also I'll try to put it on the YouTube channel link as well. But here are all the relevant details. Again, I'm going to be there at the home opener tailgate. It's $30, and for $30, you get food, beverages, games, photos, giveaways, and so much great stuff. And again, that is Sunday, September 11th. It'll be at MetLife Stadium, lot J14. Okay, food, liquor, you name it. 3 hours from 9 to 12. Get you ready for the game. Again, it's $30 per person. I'll make sure I throw the link in, or if any of you are interested in joining me, I'll be there, and I'm going to be connecting with a lot of Jet fans. I'm hoping to take pictures with you guys, hang out with you guys, meet you guys from the channel. It'll be cool to kind of put some of your names to faces. And again, here are the details. Again, I am going to be at week 1. Jets Ravens, baby. And I can't wait. I'm so excited, which is a month and change away, okay? But here are the details. Again, I'm going to be teaming up with a Middle Initial podcast, and I'm going to be at their tailgate, which again is Lot J14. If you want to participate, you have to pay $30, but again, you're getting food, beverages, games, giveaways. There's going to be so much fun stuff. You're going to get your money back immediately on food and drink alone. And again, there's going to be me. There's Antoine Staley, the new Jets beat reporter for the New York Daily News, will be joining me as a special guest. So we're going to have food, drink, fun, and kick some ass and get ready for the Jets-Ravens game. So if any of you are interested in that, stop right now and write a little note to yourself to reach out to me privately. Also, I could actually put that link in there right now. So I'm going to copy this link, and I'm going to throw it down here in the YouTube channel. So it should be in there for you guys. I believe I just put that in there for you guys. If I did not and it didn't go through, it should have gone through for you guys. So it's live on the bottom. But in case, feel free to reach out to me separately, and we can make that happen. I could send you the link to make sure you guys reserve your tickets. But again, Middle Initial Podcast, Lot J14, Sunday, September 11th. Be there or be square. Food, drink, hang out, and let's get amped up for Jets week 1. And by the way, just quick detour. So we have all the Deshaun Watson stuff. And again, you can have whatever opinions you want on the alleged behaviors with Deshaun Watson. I will simply say this from a football, because this is a football show and I try to keep it football. Okay. That Deshaun Watson has been suspended 6 games. The NFL is going to try to add more to that, which, long story short, means we're getting Jacoby Brissett. Can you imagine the atmosphere if the Jets beat the Ravens week 1, which, again, is possible? Again, the Ravens are a tough team, but I'm feeling very good about week 1. You beat the Ravens week 1 and kind of shock the football world, go 1-0. You go to Cleveland potentially 2-0 against Jacoby Brissett, and then week 3 you come back for the Cincinnati Bengals, a 2-0 Jets team in front of that home crowd. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. So keep that in mind. So I hope I see a lot of you guys for week 1. So that'd be great. Sergeant Mike, everyone 10 push-ups whenever Paul says elite. I think I pounded that in pretty good. So if that, hopefully you guys got a lot of push-ups in. Jay Spector, Conor McDermott sucks anyway. He dated my niece. He's a douche. See, this is why we go to the comment section for this kind of elite 10 push-ups content coming from our insight from that. He dated my niece. He's a douche. He seemed like a fun guy from the tight end thing, but he was not very good, according to all the analytics. And let's welcome a new member to my YouTube channel. And again, you guys can join the Boy Green Super Fan Club, and something I'm hoping to really expand this season. And some of the perks include, instead of you guys just asking questions and getting on the show in this way, where a comment is lit up in this sense from joining becoming a member and Buffalo Jet fan. Thanks, brother. Your support means the world. So thank you so much. But if any of you decide to do this, or super chats or anything, but in this particular, normally on these live streams, I bring your questions up, I talk about them, have a good time. But I want to do a live stream where you, the fans, the members of the Boy Green Superfan Club, join on with me. We're both on video. We're interacting. We're having a good old time. We're having a doozy, as the kids like to say. And kids, probably grandpas like to say, but whatever. We don't discriminate. So you guys feel free to get involved on the old membership club on YouTube, because I'm thinking about trying some new stuff. So I think the live stream would be a lot of fun involving you guys. And welcome, Buffalo Jet fan, YouTube member number 2. And I love it. You guys keep hopping on. And I love this from MM Morris. Brown might be the most elite backup in the league. Yes, sir. Jump on the train. I love it. And Sergeant Mike, who's counting? But 35 days and 13 hours till kickoff. Let's go. I'm so ready. I went to a Jets game last year, Jets Bills, and it was horrible. The Jets, we had the Mike White bubbling like before the game, and then he imploded like a Hughes lawn chair, and the Jets had so many bad things go against them in the first half. Corey Davis fumbled. For some reason, the Jets refused to put anyone else on Stephon Diggs. They just said, Javelin Guidry will work, and he did not. Spoiler alert. So I'm looking forward to week 1. I'm so amped. I'm so hyped. Oh, man, the energy is palpable. So I hope I see a lot of you guys there. Conklin is a huge dude. Absolutely. He's got the man bun, the flowing hair, the Thor-like action going on there. Yeah, Conklin is a freak. And by the way, he joined me on my show, which, by the way, you guys could go check out the interview. The interview is still good. It was from a couple weeks ago. But Tyler Conklin, man, he does not like the Gronklin nickname. Apparently, he got in Minnesota. We addressed that on the show. He complimented me on my beard game, which, by the way, I appreciate. But I had to get down to the bottom of the nickname thing. And apparently, Gronklin, he's not a big fan of. And he says Jet fans shouldn't be either with the whole Rob Gronkowski Patriots thing. But he said he'll go by T-Conk. He'll go by just straight up Conk or Tyler, his God-given name, or Conklin. So just to throw that out there for all you fans out there, because I've been hearing, people are trying to work in nicknames. I'm Boy Green, so I'm a fan of nicknames, of course. I'm hearing, or the chants at the stadium like, Brees. Like, I can't wait to get that thing going there week 1. But again, that could be as well. Back to Jay Spector here. Heard there were too many drops. Connor Hughes counted 5 drops. Zach was 12 of 19 with drops, which is encouraging to say, wow, Zach Wilson was putting it on the money. Yeah, Robert Saleh, after the scrimmage, blamed it a little bit on, again, he said, we're professionals. We have to make the plays. However, depth perception, that's why you practice in the stadium as opposed to practice. And again, that's the same kind of thing with basketball. Here in my backyard in Syracuse, right down the street, we have the Carrier Dome, and it's a very different environment than your local YMCA basketball league, and it's about depth and getting the ball in. Now, basketball and football are different sports, but you kind of get the point. So he was not worried about the drops. And to be honest, I believe in the skill position so much that I'm not worried about the drops. If this is like Jets a few years ago and Jermaine Kearse, David Clowney, that's your lineup, like, okay. But the talent is so good that I'm like, it's okay. Like, I don't want them dropping any balls, obviously. But I'm not worried about it. In terms of the talent that's around him. But I love that he's getting the ball where it's supposed to be, according to those drops. Let's go to Fluff on YouTube. Salah said drops were because of depth perception. Yep, same thing I just said, Fluff, 100%. Mike Cohen, Boy Green's always bringing the energy. That's for sure. That's what I like to bring him. And you know what? You will see. I guess you guys will tell me, for all you that meet me week 1. I'm telling you guys, this is who I am. You may think like, oh, wow, Boy Green just must put on a superhero costume when he's yelling all over the place and being loud and abrasive and somewhat obnoxious. It's true. That's how I am all the time. So buckle your seatbelts, kids. That's all I can say. Let's go. JETS, 35 days doesn't seem that far away. No, certainly not with the first preseason game. So I watched that, the Hall of Fame game on Thursday, Jaguars, Raiders. And I'm going to be honest, I was on the edge of my seat for – who was it? Nick Mullins. I don't even think that was who was in the game, but Nick Mullins and Jake Luton. Okay. I tweeted that out before the game, but I mean it. I was on the edge of my seat, baby, for all that. That was great. But that, yeah. So it's not that far away. Jets, Eagles next week. So it's right around the corner. And then you start getting through these preseason games. It's almost like, I remember it from high school football because of course I love comparing it back to that. My coach used to say at the beginning of the season, like, boys, like, make sure you kind of savor the flavor here. Like, this season's going to go by like this. And I always initially, now being an old guy, I look back and go, he was right. But at the time, I was rolling my eyes like, Coach, this is a, whatever it was, 8-game, 10-game, 12-game season. What do you mean? We got a whole season here. What are you talking about? It's not going to go fast. And before you know, it's just two. It just goes so quick. So as soon as games start popping, obviously they pop next week for the Jets. They have joint practices with Falcons, Giants, not Eagles. They did have host joint practices last year with the Eagles. Right now, that is not on the schedule. So I don't believe that's going to come to fruition. But it is joint practices for Falcons, Giants, which should be some good opportunities for both sides, both the offense and defense. But again, once the games start rolling, I think we're going to start rolling. Mike Cohen, green and white scrimmage is a weird dynamic because there's no matter which side does good, it indicates the other side didn't. Double-edged sword, right? Weird. Yeah, same thing in practice, right? So like when Zach Wilson's covering up the defense, I'm like, yeah. And then somebody like, wait a second, the defense sucks. Or it's the other side, like the defense is trouncing the offense. Yeah, go defense. Wait a second, Zach Wilson sucks. So again, it is that dynamic. That's why I'm kind of looking forward to joint practices because those will be real. It'll be Zach Wilson against the Eagles defense and vice versa, Jalen Hurts and his mobility against the Jets defense. And we'll test out how good these guys really are. So I'm looking forward to it. Terry Holland on Facebook, how did the big ticket look tonight? As Robert Saleh said after the game, he was kind of on a pitch count. Same thing for George Fant. And again, they just want to be precautious. They've been super precautious this offseason with all the injury guys or guys coming back from long acclimation periods. And so far, the only guy who's been injured is Conor McDermott. It's kind of a, I don't want to say fluke because injuries can happen at any point, but he looked good. And the offensive line as a whole looked good. They kept Zach Wilson clean for the majority of the scrimmage. Sergeant Mike, sauce is going to be great, especially on the noodles that Mac Jones serves up. I can't wait. And Tua, for that matter, too. He has such a noodle arm. I don't care what Dolphins highlight clips they tweet out with selective angles. He's got a freaking noodle arm, too, and so does Mac Jones. So I'm looking forward to giving the AFC East the business. We've been 0-12 in the division the last 2 years. It's time to flip that crap, baby. Mike Cohen on YouTube. I think there's too many people sleeping on this Jets team from a fantasy standpoint. Daily fantasy, you could get real value. Yeah, I've kind of mixed and matched. The one thing that I've done forever is season-long fantasy. So, you do the redrafts. I do a live fantasy draft at a sports pub the day before the draft. That's my big league. I do several leagues through my radio show. We'll have to do probably Jets fantasy leagues. That'd be fun with you guys. But I do leagues through my radio show and a live fantasy draft with the draft board. I already have the gear in the other room getting ready for that. I love that. So I don't do as much daily fantasy anymore, to be honest with you. But in general, I think they're under, like Zach Wilson isn't getting drafted. Breece Hall is getting drafted relatively high. I'm trying to think of who else. Elijah Moore is a quote-unquote sleeper, but is anyone really a sleeper anymore? Conklin is a super deep sleeper. He's not getting drafted in the current formats. I'm trying to think. Jets defense may be a fun one if you're feeling ballsy. That's what I was kind of thinking about earlier as I was going through my fantasy magazine. I'm like, you know what, Jets defense, I could do that. I could get a little crazy. So that's something I could do. But guys, I'm targeting, and hopefully none of you are in my fantasy leagues. Breece Hall for sure I want. Zach Wilson I want late. I'm going to throw a dart throw, and maybe he just is really good with all the offense, takes a major leap. I'll probably draft a QB1. There's a lot of guys I like. You could go like Russell Wilson in Denver or Matt Ryan in Indianapolis. I think is going to be sneaky good, or whoever. Pick your guy and then pair him with like a Zach Wilson. And if Zach Wilson starts popping, maybe you trade your starter for a bunch of pieces. So there's a lot of quarterbacks I like. But season-long fantasy, again, Elijah Moore, Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, I think as a rookie, it's hard to believe that. Conklin would be another one if I don't draft the tight end high. I like the ADP of like a Kyle Pitts over a Travis Kelce or Mark Andrews. I think you get better value there, especially since he was the first 1,000-yard tight end since like Mike Ditka. So I kind of like that too. But yes, a lot of underrated in fantasy. Talking Jets with Tigo, late night stream. I love it. Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I flew in a couple hours ago, but the green and white scrimmage, Dwayne Brown news. I'm like, you know what? Screw this. We need to get on and start talking. And like I said, we're going to have another Jets video out tomorrow. I'm doing an interview with a Jets beat reporter. I'll leave it at that. You guys can play your guessing game on who it is, but we will be doing a Jets beat reporter on the show tomorrow to get a full green and white scrimmage recap from him, talk about the Dwayne Brown news, some training camp nuggets. I'm really looking forward to it and introducing him to you guys. He has never been on the show before, so that should be fun. Let's go back to Sergeant Mike, and we'll go through the rest of these comments here. I did see a video where Sauce was beat on one play. Would have been a touchdown, but the safety made a touchdown-saving tackle. But whether it's 0 touchdowns or 1 touchdown for your whole college career is still awesome, 100%. And again, he's going to get tested. It's not like he's going to, spoiler alert, going to have 0 touchdowns allowed in his NFL career. But I love the swagger he brings. I love the confidence he brings. I really enjoyed him on NFL Total Access. They were there on Friday for practice. And again, the grill, the swag, it all seems real in the same way. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to Sauce. He's going to get tested. He's going to get beat, but it's going to be fun. JTS Jets getting fired up for the season, as you should be. This is one of the most highly anticipated Jets season in recent memory I can think of. Fluff, Sauce played really well, locked it up. You got to love it. I understand the Jets need backup OT, but JD signs McDermott. Dude is flat out terrible. I hope, again, we will see ultimately what they do, TJ. I think McDermott was just an easy guy to have on the roster as in theory, not your swing tackle, but like your third or fourth tackle. Like in that role, he's fine, I guess. But yeah, I mean, to rely on him any longer than that, I think would be ridiculous, to be honest with you. So let's go to Steve Higginson on YouTube. The green and white game was fun. A lot of good, positive vibes from the fans. Positive attitude by all Jet fans will provide 2 extra wins by the Jets this year. We can only hope, Steven. We can only hope, baby. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for that kind of chutzpah. Another one here from Joe McDowell on Facebook. Jets, baby. Yes, Joe. Love it. And a beautiful picture. I like the Waldo outfit. Very nice. Very nice. Thought that was going out of style. You're bringing it back, Joe. Love it. Back to Sergeant Mike with our elite offensive weapons, 10 push-ups. Our pass rush and our brand new secondary, we should be favored for every game at home. I don't think we will lose any home games unless referees give one away. I don't think so. I like the framework of your question. We should be favored, but it won't. The Jets won't be favored until they prove it. Again, one winning season the last 11 years, haven't been to the playoffs since 2011, and people don't believe. So again, I always use the Santa Claus coming down the chimney quote, and some people need to see Santa's fat ass come down the chimney before they're like, Christmas is real. So until they see the Jets version of coming down that chimney, they're going to say the Jets suck until they punch them in the face, say, wait a second, not same old Jets, question mark. Until then, they're going to have to prove it. That's just the plain and simple of it. Jay Spector, seems defense adjusts in second half of scrimmage. Maybe Ulbrich learned something since last year. And that's the kind of cool thing Salah was setting up for during pressers leading up to the green and white scrimmage, is that there was a little bit of competitive, not a little, I mean a lot. Obviously, the latest Friday practice was chippy, but Ulbrich was calling plays and LaFleur was calling plays, and they're calling plays against each other. So from that perspective, you got a little bit of the competitive juice. So I like how they were going back and forth. And again, I don't think in any of these scrimmages, as fun as it is for Zach Wilson to throw 20 touchdown passes in practice, you don't necessarily want that. That means your defense getting roasted. And on the other side, you don't want the defense annihilating the offense the entire time. That's not good either. So a fair balance kind of means, okay, they're both have good and bad spots, and we'll see what happens in the regular season. So it looks like he has. Now, I will say this on Ulbrich before we sign off, answering the last couple of questions here. Ulbrich is on a tight leash as far as I'm concerned. I like Ulbrich, the person. A lot of people think he's a future head coach with the way he speaks and his football acumen and a former player and everything else, and all that's good and gravy. But he's got to deliver. No excuses. Last year, there was the injuries. First year of the system. There's a lot of excuses you could have pointed to. This year, they got talent upgrades at all the major positions, every level of the defense, and the second year of the system. They have to be better, and I think that's going to be key. Robert S., when it comes to sauce, the word freak comes out a lot. Yeah, because there's not a lot of corners walking around on the face of you're 6'3" and bringing that kind of energy, chutzpah, the 0 touchdowns in college. So he is a freak. He's a freak from how he came up. Remember, he was kind of a toothpick. Well, remember, for those who may or may not know, he came up as a toothpick out of Detroit. No real Division I offers. No one really thought much of him. He had to earn his way in. And he started out as a walk-on with Cincinnati. Then he became a first-round pick, the highest drafted player in Cincinnati history. So he's just had a natural progression that's been impressive. I love his mentality. Love his chip on his shoulder. Kobe, is this offense going to be more dominant, or will it be the defense? Can it be both? I mean, let's be honest, Lou. Can it be both? That's what I'm asking, Kobe. But I think the defense will rule the roost initially. I mean, we all want it to be offense, obviously. Score all the damn points. But I think it will be defense initially, offense eventually. Because, again, a lot of new pieces. The tight end room, completely new. Garrett Wilson, new. Breece Hall, new. Laken Tomlinson, guessed it, new. So there's a lot of new, fresh out of the package. So it's gonna be a process. But I think you will see pops. It's not like the offense going to be completely stagnant or irrelevant or non-existent, in my opinion. But for it to be the well-oiled machine that I think a lot of Jet fans are hoping, expecting from week one, I think it's going to take some time. But ultimately, I guess we'll see. Ragnar, Jets bringing in Paul as a backup swing tackle. Problem solved. Yeah, if they're looking for a 5'3" on a slanted hill offensive tackle, I am ready to go. I will tell you, at Oswego High School, where I played 3 years of my JV and varsity football, there was a practice where we had so many injuries that literally 5'2" on a slanted hill Paul had to play positions that perhaps were not what I was designed for, perhaps. In high school at that height and like 130 pounds soaking wet. I played running back, which I loved running back, even though I was short as hell. I was trying to be Darren Sproles out there, breaking tackles, be a tough son of a gun. I will tell you, I played running back and corner. Running back was my trading card, but again, high school, you always play both sides of the ball. And I will tell you, that in that one practice, I had to play middle linebacker, 5'2" middle linebacker. You bet your sweet cheeks I played that. But I never played offensive lineman. I did not do that. No, I can't say. But you know what? First time for everything. And again, if they're relying on me, God help them all. Corona Kenny, LaBooth. Oh, come on. We got to play one more clip here. And it was just freaking hilarious. So again, Salah, I love Salah. I think Salah is such an aware dude, which I think is fascinating as a coach, because sometimes, like things are happening and you'll see a head coach like come up to the podium, like if something like the Zach Wilson mom thing is a great example, right? And the coach kind of goes, I have no idea what you're talking about. Just pretend like it doesn't exist. But I gotta, Chrono, good call. I shared this clip on my Twitter. We'll bring it up. After the green and white scrimmage, you'll hear both the question from Connor Hughes of SNY to Robert Saleh on, is Mike LaFleur staying in the booth? Was he in the booth for the green and white scrimmage, and is he staying in the booth? And Robert Saleh with this hilarious quip. Here's the quick clip.
Did Mike call plays upstairs?
He was upstairs, yeah.
That's going to be the case.
Yeah, he's upstairs. Le Booth.
That's hilarious to me. Again, that is freaking funny. That's Robert Saleh doing a quick quip. Hey, was Mike LaFleur up there? Yeah, he was up there. Yeah. Is he going to be up there this season? Yeah, he's going to be up there. LeBooth. Again, he's listening to the fans. He's listening to Twitter. He may not be on Twitter. I think he's on Instagram, but has one post, Go Jets or something. People are telling it. He's in the know. The LeBooth thing was freaking hilarious. I laughed my ass off on that. And again, my Twitter for all those clips, I try to clip out and tweet out all the clips from the presser. Ragnar Jet, so excited for the season again, Ragnar, as you should be. Hey, Paul, how bad was the Zach Wilson interception? What, the Delshon Phillips one? Or I think that was the one that was on Uzama, excuse me. So there was this one where Zach Wilson, took the snap. CJ Uzama runs this slow ass route, like molasses slow. And he chops his feet, and then looks, and then it's undercut. But I believe that play was the one that was Delshon Phillips' pick. Dude, Uzama, you got to cut your ass cheeks, man. Run the freaking route. And I don't know if, CJ is as good of a route runner as Tyler Conklin, but you just got to move your cheeks. A Jet fan responded to that. I think I responded to the interception from someone who posted the clip, and I'm like, Jesus, Uzama, you got to move your ass, man. And then I think a Jet fan said he rounded, the turn at the Indy 500, and he just took a long ass time to kind of go whoop. So again, also Zach Wilson staring down, CJ Uzama blowing the route, and then tip of the cap to Delshon for cutting it. But I mean, the first thing I saw was CJ. Jesus, help out your quarterback for Pete's sake. So he just came up with a lumbering, boulder, blah, 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 and then went to go for the ball. And Delshon's like, thank you, see ya, peace, and picked it off. So to me, I thought it was more so on CJ. But again, I'm not trying to make excuses for Zach. He has thrown some bad ones in the past, but to me, that one was on CJ. Okay, let's go through the last couple comments here. Sergeant Mike, I believe the Jets team sack record is 66. That record could get broken as our opponents will be trailing a lot, just like they were when the sack exchange set the mark. NFL record 72 by the Bears in 84. Here's a stat. I don't believe the Jets have broken the 40 sack mark in 8 years or something. It's been crazy. Maybe that may be too long. 5, 7. I think it's 7, something like that. Because again, they had the 12 and a half or 10 and a half, whatever it was, with Muhammad Wilkerson in 2015. But they have that going. It's 6 or 7 years in a row of under 40 sacks. So let's get over that one. That'll be fine for me. They got a lot of talent. And I think there's double-digit sack potential guys. Carl Lawson, Quinnen Williams, JFM, of course, and maybe a sneaky guy I don't know if Jacob Martin does. I don't know if he has enough reps to do it. But there could be either that. I think there's potential for any one of them to break the sack drought. Again, we haven't had a double-digit sack guy since 2015. And there also could just be a lot of 5, 7, 8s. And if you spread that out enough, maybe you get to your 40 number or 66 number. But I just want to see it go past 40. Jay Spector, Cincy Bungles turned around last year. Why not us? Law of average, 100%. I think we're due after all the bull crap Jet fans have gone through. I got to tell you, man, that it's about time. It's about damn time, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the turnaround. Chrono Kenny, Oswego, New York. I went to college here. I did as well. I went to 2 different colleges for sports broadcasting. Again, I've told some of this story before. I was in South Carolina. I was a freshman at Stratford High School, and I was a sergeant in JROTC. I was supposed to go to the military. That was my path. I set up. My dad was in the Navy. Brother was in the Marines. Everything lined up where I'm going to the military. Makes sense. And then we moved to Oswego. My mom picked that, and there was no JROTC up here, so I couldn't do, because being in JRTC gave you a bonus, essentially gave you money when you went in because you kind of had a head start on your peers. So that was a neat perk of doing it. And unfortunately, there's no JRTC up here, so it completely changed my life. I play football, I get into football and radio and sports media and all that jazz, and then my entire life changes. So, and I went to both Cayuga Community College for sports broadcasting and SUNY Oswego for sports broadcasting. Actually, here's a little nugget. I don't even know if I'm allowed to announce this, but I will be at the Oswego Media Summit this year for the first time as part of their panel and as a career connector. I think that's the right terminology. So I'm looking forward to going back to my old alma mater. Got a bachelor's degree from SUNY Oswego, associate's degree from Cayuga Community College. Education, baby. So a small world. And for those of you who don't know Oswego, they're just hearing this. A lot of famous alum, Al Roker, Linda Cohn, Steve Levy, the former voice of Monday Night Football, and Linda Cohn, who just celebrated 30 years on the Sports Center anchor desk, and she just re-signed. So you have her. Al Roker obviously speaks for himself. So we got a lot of famous alum, baby, and Boy Green, maybe? I don't know. I got to etch my own path there, but, some good company for sure. A couple more here. Sergeant Mike Salah post-game press conferences will be viral. If Jets ball out, he's a lock for Coach of the Year. If Jets will win 11, he will get the award. Yeah, I think the wins, the personality, New York bouncing back, all of those would be feeding factors for him to get some love. Absolutely, for that award. And again, I think it was Peter Schrager, maybe. I don't want to credit the wrong person, but I think it was Peter Schrager that essentially the NFL world, believe it or not, of all the people that make fun of the Jets, I think Peter Schrager was the one who said that the NFL world is hungry for the Jets to be good again, because when they're good, the NFL world is so ready to embrace the heck out of them and talk about them and blow them up. And we will see if that's true, if they're good this year. But I think you could be onto something. Wow, we've got a super chat in, and I first want to say that any of you, if you feel like you've got the extra coin in the pocket to do this, it makes a tremendous difference to me and helps me do more stuff for you guys. It adds a color depending on how much that you donate to me. It's a tip of the cap to me, a tip your waiter. And if you like the job I'm doing and you have the means, feel free to do a super chat where it blows up to a different color. And you, again, throw a little coin in my tin can and you always get answered, of course, here on the YouTube show. I try to answer all of you, but this always guarantees they get in. Jorge Perez. I love your show with Jake Asman. Was incredible. I really enjoy you. Always the best. Go Jets. Well, Jorge, I want to thank you so much, or George, for whichever one it is. I'm sorry. But Mr. Perez, I want to say thank you so much. Yeah, I love when Jake brings me on the show. It's a lot of fun. Jake is fantastic. By the way, Jake was there at the Green and White scrimmage tonight. Tip the cap to Mr. Jake Asman. And I'll be jumping on a few shows. I was supposed to jump on some shows while I was in Mississippi. Wi-Fi didn't make that happen. I think I'm supposed to catch up with Matt O'Leary and a bunch of others. So we'll be doing that. So keep an eye out for me on all of those. Sergeant Mike, USMC boot camp. They would have needed a team of barbers to get you through induction. And my brother, Paradise Island, of course, was his training for the Marines. This beard, I'm not sure how they would feel about that. JRTC, I just saw the picture because I was at my parents' house of Sergeant Esden. That was me, and clean shaven. I don't know if that picture will ever make it to the internet to see, let me hide your comment here, right? Like burly beard. And then clean shaven, Paul. Yeah, that picture exists out in the universe. So just want to throw that out there. Maybe that'll leak on social media one day. Who knows? We'll see. Mr. Perez, I want to thank you for your super chat. Thank Buffalo Jet Fan for joining my YouTube membership club, which again gives some unique membership perks for joining the Boy Green Super Fan Club and the family. And I thank all of you guys, whether you had money to donate or your time to donate, which is the most valuable thing in this world, is spending it with anyone. And spending it with me always means the world to me, and I'll never forget that for all you guys that end up having it here. Let me get one last thing, and I see Fluff coming in. Who has the better beard, you or Green Bean? I'm going to have to – I don't think – it's been a long time since I've gotten Green Bean back on my show. So I have to do, I've been on his show, but I need to bring Green Bean back on my show. We'll ask him that question. We'll get like a live poll going when we get the Green Bean Boy Green action fluff. So TBD, I'll let you that we are a show of the people. I will let the people decide on who has the better beard game. But I want to thank each and every one of you for this random video. Again, I just got back a couple hours ago from my flight. I'd been gone for like 2 weeks, and I'm back. There is no more big-time vacations coming for me, so I'm going to be here. We're going to have a lot of videos coming. Like I said, stay tuned for tomorrow, technically today, because it's after midnight now. But stay tuned. Because today, on a Sunday, August 7th, we'll be speaking with a member of the Jets beat reporting staff, and they'll be joining us for the very first time on the show. I hope you guys enjoy. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to be talking about this Dwayne Brown news with our boy. We're going to be talking about the green and white scrimmage. We'll dive into a little bit deeper, so we got a lot of questions on that. I wasn't there, but I know this man covered it, and he was there at the presser, so we'll ask him. And, of course, training camp storylines and all that fun jazz. So hopefully we'll see you guys. We've got a lot of videos coming out this week. Hope you enjoy, and let's go Jets, baby. It's an exciting time for all things Gang Green, and I'm glad you guys could be a part of it. We got an exciting season coming, folks, and I hope you could be a part of it. Make sure you like the video, hit subscribe, and tell a Jets friend, and let's spread the love. Thanks, everybody, and we'll see you.